Well, good morning, folks. This is another fun-filled episode of The Other Side of Ropes. You know the place, you know the time, and I am Red, aka Shaka, sub moniker Black Magic. Now, for those of you who have missed it, that last bit that you guys saw, the opening of the weekend, that wasn't exactly what you want to call an entry to this column. That was just me basically having a stream of conscious. And like I said, I was in quite a reflective mood. Usually around this time of year, I usually go through this thing, and it has nothing to do with my column. It has nothing to do with wrestling, actually. It ties in now because due to the fact that I would say a couple of years prior to breaking in, maybe a year and a half, there's this point in time during the year, this course of the year, we're like the second week into the new year now, and it's usually not uncommon for me to go into what I like to call, the winter of discontent is what you want to call it, and sometimes I get into a melancholy funk. In this particular case, is more reflective. I would say more so now because, like I said, I've hit the 40th year of my life, and to me, it hasn't quite sunk in yet. It might not for a while. Like I said, to me right now, 40 is a new 25. Only due to the fact that there are a lot of things I'm doing in terms of activity that most people wouldn't fathom being able to pull off when they see that age, because they're not thinking about 40. And a lot of people, the perception is you hit that particular age, you're ancient. I beg to differ. It also depends on what you're doing leading up to that particular part that would make you that way. Granted, there are physical changes. Some of them are still coming. But take it as it comes. If you live an active lifestyle, you're smart and resilient enough, may not be a big deal, may not come until later. The whole main thing is slowing down the clock. And going back to that last video, I mentioned the whole thing. I dropped a few names, Ron Starr, some of which you might not know, Downtown Raphael, Flex Wheeler, even Petey Staniforth, Johnny Tiger, Robin Lekeme, or Lekemez. I credit a lot of people, and the reason behind this is they are, and there's more people behind this, they are first and foremost in my mind because these are the people I credit for, especially in recent years, in the last 5 or 6 years especially. They're responsible in their own way for making me the person, help forming me to be the person who I am now, and the community, the subculture, the industry that we know as independent professional wrestling. Like I said, I don't forget my roots. I don't forget the people who helped put me there. There are more, trust me. There's a lot of people that's supporting whose shoulders I stand on. But those are ones that stood first and foremost. And yeah, just so you know, and I've said this before on Facebook at least 2 times, when I stopped, or just before I stopped the recording, yeah, I got misty-eyed, and for good reason. Pardon me. Now I know there's a lot of people who are asking me why don't I do the shout outs anymore. Don't worry, folks, they're coming back. I did that because a lot of stuff I had to get off my chest in the last couple of months. It was a matter of time consumption, and it was a matter of time content, because YouTube is pretty picky. And at the same time, I know there are some people that actually look forward to it, but I didn't know who I was watching, who I was listening, and I didn't want to get them tired of seeing that stuff. Unfortunately, since I put this stuff through YouTube before Facebook first, makes it kind of hard for the people I want this to see, that I want to tag, to get tagged, because if it's going through one, I can't put it through the other one. But I'll try my luck again. Trust me on that one. That's because the internet can be a very fussy thing at times when it wants to be. But the reason why I put that out was more or less That was more or less for the generation coming after us. Actually, it's probably about 3 or 4 generations now, because like I said, it's been about nearly a decade and a half since I've been in the business. Actually, 13 and a half years come next month. All right. Time flies when you're having fun, folks. Seriously. And what happened was you get a lot of people, and I'm addressing this to my friends as well. A lot of us think that we go back to what we're watching. Listen, you can't go home again. Nostalgia is a good idea. It sounds like a good idea, but nostalgia is not the answer. We can't go back to the stuff that we grew up watching. That's a whole different product, because those guys now, half of those guys are dead. Okay, because of the crazy lifestyle, it caught up to them. And listen, granted, we run into some of these cats. Like, I know I run into some of these cats, especially when I go overseas to Germany, and they're still doing their thing. A bunch of them haven't missed a beat. They know who they are. And they've seen the guys that aren't here anymore fall by the wayside. I've seen a couple of them before it happened. And listen, I mentioned Scott Hall. Listen, a lot of these guys who are trying to book promotions now, trying to do promoting and everything else, they can be cold and calculated as they want to. You're fucking vultures, okay? Some of these guys deserve to fade away in dignity. Give them that much. Seriously. Give them that much. I mean, last week, a friend of mine shot me a link to Ultimate Warrior doing the thing with Kevin Nash, and some people misconstrued it. And they're like, we don't know what he's talking about. Okay, that's a bad rap. I saw the thing with the whole bit a few years ago with the Ultimate Warrior. Alright, I get the whole thing with Jim Hellawig. There was some stuff that seemed to be, when he did his thing, he did his thing. It seemed to be incoherent, but he is what he is. I can still hear an articulate voice in there. Some of it makes sense. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. And people are going to do what they're going to do to discredit the guy as a wrestler. Alright, yeah. I even read Pure Dynamite like at least 5 times. Even Dynamite Kid rated him for his entrance alone. I rated the guy for his entrance alone, and it got my attention. And then when you pay attention, there wasn't much wrestling. But hey, it was what it was. There wasn't much wrestling from off of when he was Dingo Warrior in World Class. It was aesthetics. It was what it was. Okay? But at the same time, the guy did his thing. He got his money. Bang. Alright? And even he turned around with the whole thing with Kevin Nash. It was a cliquish thing, whatever. Yeah, click. Gotcha. Whatever. And even he said, look, in his own way, if you read between the lines, and that's something my father and my grandfather taught me when I was 13 around the same time. Hellawig, Warrior, whatever you want to call him, turned around and said, look, even if we did this thing, what's the point? You know, it's more than just a payday. What's the point? That's what he was trying to say. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of guys on this level they're not going to be able to get it because it's on that level. Whole different ballgame. You know, because that was sports entertainment. We're indie wrestling. And somebody actually snatched a quote. Okay. All right. It was my friend Dawn Holly out of from Oregon, now coming out of Oklahoma, and I let her snatch this quote from me, and it goes along the tune of this. And you can say what you want, make of it what you will. The line between a mark and a worker is quite blurry, and it is. The line between a work and a shooter, or a worker and a shooter, is non-existent. You know why? Because there really aren't any shooters left in the wrestling community. You know why? Because the people we would consider shooters are in mixed martial arts. Whole different world, guys. Whole different ball game. All right? People who don't get it, that's your problem. Seriously, it's your problem. Eventually, I'll help you guys out, but I know there's a bunch of you who don't get it. Now, Some of this is going to seem cryptical to you guys. Once again, it's a matter of perspective and perception. It's your problem. Some of y'all can spell this out too, but I'm not going to do it here. But on that note, here's the deal. Past the 10-minute mark, this is what I'm going to do. To my people out west, Johnny Logan, Nick the Sickness out in Arizona. Let's see. To Live Savage, still doing the Occupy thing out on the West Coast in Cali. Dawn Holly now in Oklahoma. Let me see. To the peeps down in the Mid-South or just the Southeast. Let's see. Lady Amazon, Blade Walker, Bob Gary. Oh yeah, Marcus Gibbs. Oh man, I can't remember him, but bear with me. Man, Bobby down in Florida. Let's see. Ghetto Blaster, wherever you are. I owe you a phone call, bro. It's been a minute. Seriously. Scotty Bullwinkle. This is down in Georgia. Working my way up and back up and over. To my peeps over in Maryland, D.C. D-Line. Ernest Stanley. Massive Mike. Trina Stratus. Chris Nightmare. Jimmy Dream. Christopher Koloff. Brandon Mercury. Eric Chappell. In Delaware. Power Pro Wrestling. I mentioned most of you guys. Grey Wolf. Haroof. Shelby. To the Kleins. Over in Jersey. Doc Diamond Devastation U. The Empire. Including the 212. My boy Xavier Fate. Because all they do is win. Including the referee Jimmy Dillon. Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Alliance. So my peeps up in Elite Generation Wrestling in Tamaqua, PA. Junior White up in New York. For New York State, I.B. Green, Cage, Sean Carr. To my people over into the Western Europe and UK and all points in between. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. To my Power Trip Wrestling people and family. Drewy, Woo, Petey, Tom, Proud Papa, the Singing Dads are now a trio for real. New bouncing baby girl Emily. Let's see. To the Milkshake, to the Ginger Snap. To the Tobes, Greg the Gunner. Tony Allen. To my people over in Belgium and Holland. Robin, Lori, Homeless, Gangrene, Rob Raw, Wendy. Beatings Are Us. Yeah, I'm talking about Jack Domino and Dorax. Rico Bushido. Uncle Vito, Tommy N, Zeus. I'm talking about collectively, if I said this wrong, Sumerian Death Squad. Steve Torres, anybody else I missed? Ender died. To my people over in Germany, my Berlin crew, the House of Jacks, Crazy Sexy Mike Ahmed Care, Craig BC, Susie in Dresden, Susie in Berlin, Kathy, Maddie, Sandra, Crazy Johnny Tiger, Andrea Babich, Rick the Voice Valentine, MC Logan, the AWM crew, the Pro Wrestling Fighter crew, the boys down in Austria, to the FCF crew up in Finland, including Starbuck, the Pro Wrestling Eve crew, including Mina, Yenny, and my homegirl, Jazzy. Anybody else I missed in between, and I just hit the 15-minute mark, and I don't care who knows it. I think I try to hook all you guys up. Incense. This is Red. This is Shaka. This is Top. This is the other side of ropes. It's been real. I'm out, people. Peace.